but have y'all seen what's happening with Duolingo? Okay, in case you're not familiar, Duolingo is an app where you learn other languages, supposedly. It's basically this app where they gamify learning another language through like quizzes and little mini games, little mini quests and stuff. And I'm not gonna say it doesn't work, but everybody I know that uses Duolingo still speaks English to me. Just throwing that out there. And over time it was getting more expensive, and over time there would be mistakes that were in the games and in the programs, which were kind of, I don't know how you would put it, but basically it was kind of forgivable because you felt like you were getting that real-time help through a person, So then a person would see through comments, oh, this is messed up, oh, let me fix it, it actually should have been like this. And you were really getting like a sort of language learning community going under Duolingo, which is the point, you would think, to learn a new language, to talk to more people. It'd be kind of weird to learn a language just to be like, I did it. And no one will ever know. I'm just gonna go to whole countries, know what they saying, and not tell anybody. I have the power. I only think like a psychopath would do that. Like I've seen those viral videos of people being like in Japan, and no one thinks that this black person in Japan speaks Japanese, so then they like are recording themselves or they're streaming, and then someone says something about them, and then they're like, boom, I know Japanese, and the person's like, what? How? You don't look like it. That actually would have been a fire ad for Duolingo back in the day. It's just like, have you like eating at like a fast food spot, everyone around you roasting you, everybody getting one in, like, and the back of his head, look at it, look, I can see right through it. Does he even know he got that bald spot? The bald spot fighting for his life is shiny. It's like a flashlight. And then you bounce back, you're like, I know French. What? I'm so embarrassed. I was being rude in undercover. Duolingo. But no, that's not what happened. People were slowly learning these languages over time. And learning is like a hard, it's a hard way to describe it because it's not as if the language was fully being taught. It's not like the same thing as sitting in a class being taught the tenses, being taught the situations to say certain things versus other things. It's more just like, did you spell we right? That's a little French. Have some of that. And so over time, you see Duolingo also get this internet presence that's like, their socials team is very like in vogue. They get in there, they're funny in the comments, spicy comments too. Sometimes they got a quick jab back whenever somebody tries to trash Duolingo. And I don't know how I feel about it. If I'm being honest, it's like through our tax systems and through the economy, we already treat these companies like people. I don't know if I want to pretend that they're also interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like when I see a Twitter handle for a company, I don't want to be like, oh, they're so moody today. I can't believe Microsoft's so angry. Because it's not like it's not an individual, it's a company. And there are individuals making that company feel like your friend, but they're not your friend. They're not your friend at all. And then they do this move, which is wildly unpopular, where they release a statement where they say, we're going to be an AI-first company, which is a interesting title to give yourself. You could have said customer first, you could have said teacher first, and you could have not said anything. Because people were already noticing, they were like, I think there's like less people working there now. I feel like some of my answers don't get answered in the right way. Some of the lessons even feel a bit like ChatGPT-ish, And then they came out and said it. They're like, look, we're going to use AI, and you're going to learn just the same as you've been learning. And I had friends who were like, I'm not learning anything already. And honestly, what's the fun of using Duolingo if you could just use any sort of like open AI, any sort of AI program to make your own learning course? If it's AI, then what's special about it? And so you see people, big backlash. Every time they even tweet, post anything, people are like, was this written by AI? You know? And it gets to the point where I don't really know if they were hacked or not, or if that's just like part of the marketing scheme, but basically they took down everything because they were getting trashed. Because, you know, they want to be expensive, they want to hire less people, they want to essentially disregard, disrespect, or just get rid altogether of their teachers and have you pay, I think, $20 a month to not learn French. And so people were rightfully upset. And so they take everything down, and then they post it again, and they post it as the is it a frog? I mean, I think it's a bird. It's an owl? So they posted with a guy in a owl costume, and that guy was using like the deep, distorted voice, talking about how the elites ruin Duolingo. And I was like, yeah, but aren't you? What's happening? And then I think it was the CEO that even came out, and instead of giving some sort of statement that basically says, hey, look, yes, we're going to be using AI, but we're still going to have our teachers, and our teachers are going to just use AI for some of the menial tasks, but you'll still be talking to a teacher. Instead of reassuring the customers at all, he kind of just doubled down and was like, look, the AI is going to be better than teachers anyway. The people got really mad. And I think what's happening here is what's happening all the time. Teaching is hard. Teaching is very difficult. And if you love something and you love it enough to teach it, that to me is amazing. I don't know if I know anything well enough to teach it. And I don't know if I have the patience to convey those ideas in an efficient enough way that you know what I know when I'm done talking. That's scary. I would never try to teach. I don't know, even things that I'll admit right now, even things that I'm pretty sure about, I don't know enough about to teach. I believe in climate change, but if you asked me about climate change when I got done talking about climate change, you wouldn't believe in climate change. When I got done talking, you'd be like, everything he said sound made up. Because teaching is very, very difficult, and we forget. From every perspective, teaching is difficult. It's difficult in and of itself alone to be in your head, have the idea, convey the idea in a way that gets through someone else's head. You gotta get past all the video games and all the crushes and all the, just to be like, math! That's already hard enough. Never mind the fact that like kids are difficult. I'm not just talking about like junior high or all of them. I remember being difficult as a kid. I wasn't trying to be difficult. I wanted to learn the thing. It was not getting in. I was fighting it. I didn't even know it. Sometimes I'd even be a little pompous, you know? Like I'll admit it, as a little kid, give me some grace. As a child, I was a flat earther. When I was little, I was a flat earther because, my teacher tried to teach me about the globe and all the countries around the globe and stuff like that, and how the earth was round. I was like, Just gonna throw this out there for you. Feels pretty flat to me. I know I haven't been all over the world, but never been, sideways. So I think it's pretty flat. Sorry to embarrass you while you're talking to the whole class, but And then my teacher very graciously was like, oh, yeah, this is sadly a common misconception. It's not actually flat. The earth is round. I'm like, oh, huh. Not to contradict you, ma'am, but if the earth is round, why are all the maps flat? Truly, as an 8-year-old, I thought I had a mic drop moment. I was like, I mean, I rest my case. That's up there with you. You the one projected that thing. So, I mean, maybe I should have the chalk. I'm just saying. And then my teacher pulled out a globe. Because it's difficult. And look, I'm not a parent. And I can't imagine what it's like to be a parent the same way I can't imagine what it's like to be a teacher. But I see some of the friction that parents have with teachers sometimes, whether they think that they could do it better or that they think it must not be their kid, it must be the teacher. And I thought that all would have been settled through COVID. You remember that time where everybody was alone with their kids? To see how well they sort of grasped everything? You know, I don't think enough teachers got an apology. I feel like 2021, you should show up to your kid's school and be like, I didn't know he just wouldn't take the words in. Like, I really thought it was you this entire time, but nah, he hates science. That's his kryptonite. It's also hard because I think the way that we look at teaching is as the obstacle as opposed to as the help, right? Like even now, if someone tries to teach you something, there's some reluctance there sometimes. What it used to be, you're a kid and these adults, they don't know what they're talking about and try to teach me something. And then you become an adult and you're like, why do you think you can teach me something? We're the same age. And then you get older, and then someone younger than you has something to say, and you're like, why do you think you can teach me something? You don't even know about the world, right? So I think that a lot of people, myself included, sometimes have a reluctance to learning in general, especially because there's a sort of like hubris around getting an idea. When you get an idea, you feel like you got it. I snatch that, you know? It's like when people say that they're self-taught, but then they tell you how they taught themselves. No, I went to my friend's house. He built a whole deck. And I was like, that's incredible. I didn't know you did construction. He's like, I don't. I was like, how'd you build a deck? He's like, oh, self-taught. And I was like, how did you teach yourself to build a deck? And he's like, oh, I just watched this guy on YouTube for like 75 hours or whatever. I had to watch some of the videos over and over again because I was scared I was going to mess up my cuts and everything. But then I got it, yeah. Then he taught you. That's not self-taught at all. 75 hours of listening to some other dude talk. He might as well have been here. No, because there's a deep respect that I have for teachers because they cared about something so much that they were willing to learn more about it than they ever probably had to, just to teach it to someone else, to share the thing that they love. My math teacher loved math so much that she went to more school for math, and then she came back, got a teaching degree, and then came back and taught a lower math than she understands. She has to dumb down math every day just to bring it to me, and just to try to give me some math. She went through all that, and I don't know how we did it. It's kind of incredible that all over the world, we somehow managed to not pay teachers enough and not give them enough, like in every country, no matter where you go. And so I bring it up because I think that I'm not a teacher, but I think the thing that teachers fall in love with is like that light bulb. Watching someone get something that you understand, that you're giving to them, and then it clicks. And they're like, oh, whether they're a little kid, little bitty kid. I remember a teacher at school is who really taught me how to tie my shoes. like really, really put it together for me in my head. Obviously, my grandma tied my shoes and would show me how to do it while she was doing it. My mom would tie my shoes. My dad would tie my shoes. But she was the one that was like, no, we're going to practice. I'm just going to tie it. We're going to practice. And so then she tied it because I ran up to her after recess. I had been falling, right? I've been tripping hard. I was doing that, you know that Looney Tunes drag where your legs go up? Because I was getting a good start and then I'd step on a lace and I'd go, whoa! And so, ran up to her. I was like, hey, can you help me tie my shoes? Just both, laces couldn't be further from my feet. Just, can you help me tie my shoes? And she was like, sure. And then she tied both my shoes for me. And then just like that, she pulled the string and untied them both. And I was like, oh. I'd never been betrayed before. It's like, oh, why would you? Oh, what's wrong with you? And she was like, no, I've tied your shoes a couple days in a row. And I'm not going to tie them anymore. We're going to tie them together. And so for the rest of recess, sat down, tied my shoes over and over again until the last time I tied them and I didn't even notice it. And then for the rest of the time I was in elementary school, every time she saw me and she saw me, shoes tied, she saw that light bulb go off. Oh. And no matter how reluctant someone is to be taught, it's a beautiful thing when that happens. When the idea gets through and you can see it. You see the light bulb go off. Oh, it's round. Who would have thought? You know? And so, I don't know what it's like. I see this move in Duolingo towards AI, and that move towards AI is not to give you, the consumer, a better product. It's not to help the actual teachers who are passionate about people learning other languages so they can make new friends or have new experiences or just open their minds up to how big the world really is. When you understand language and you understand how many different ways there are to say something specifically and how few ways there are to say something very unique, you have an appreciation for communication, all right? And that's not what Duolingo is looking to do. They would like to make more money. And it's a business, so to be fair, more money would be nice. That's what you're supposed to do at business. No one shows up to business like, did you make any friends? But that is why they're making that move towards AI. And I see that thing happening in places that do make me worry. Like, I don't know much about the UK school system or anything. I don't know if it's good or bad or how y'all feel about it. I just know the stories that I've been seeing where there are some schools that are looking to introduce and implement AI teachers, like AI taking over the classroom. And I don't know, that really worries me because I think that you need a teacher, you need a person to watch you get it. That's part of the human experience. To watch you get it is great. Being in a classroom that's led by AI has to be like being in a driverless car. And you get in, and they tell you it's safe. They tell you it'll get you where you're going, but you get in, and, you know, maybe they programmed it to make sure it makes the light, but not to speed, you know. But you're in the back seat for some reason. I mean, I guess there's no wheel, so might as well. And you're just looking out the windshield the whole time like, okay. They say this is how you get there, but I've never gone this way before. And now you're just sitting there like, oh, I think you missed the left. Oh. Really nobody to talk to in here, so sort of talking to myself. Oh, that's a bus, that's a bus, that's a bus, that's a bus, that's a bus. Because one thing about being here that that I cannot stress enough, the way y'all's buses move is wildly different than what I'm used to. If I'm being honest, I don't know how you train your bus drivers. Or what happens when a bus driver hits a person, but it looks like they're trying to find out every turn. I was crossing the street to come here, And the bus driver cut the wheel so hard in front of me and looked at me the entire time. But you're in this driverless car and it says it's going to get you where you're going. And so maybe you should trust it, who knows? But sometimes you prefer a person, you know? I know that we don't necessarily treat everything this way. Like, the best example I can give is when it comes to school and how kids are using ChatGPT and other AI to do their homework for them or do the lesson for them and turn it in. The big fear there is that they will not know how to think to a conclusion, right? Like if we're being honest, and this isn't to disparage what anyone teaches or how they teach it, but a lot of the actual lessons you learn in school don't matter as much as you taking the steps to get to the end product, right? Like it isn't imperative that you read Mark Twain, but it is good that you read something that is not how the people that you know talk, and it's not from a time that you live in, and it opens up your mind to that the world might be different, you know? And the fear is that if kids use this thing too much, if it's completely abused, that you'll essentially graduate someone who is illiterate and not able to think critically about anything. And they'll be a doctor. And I get that. I get that fear. But you also have to look at it from the perspective of those kids, because they're essentially being told that, look, we try to teach you well so that you can go out into the world and be productive and maybe get a good job. But as far as good jobs, we're like done with those. So you're not gonna get one that's gonna go to AI. But don't use the AI to cheat. You gotta read the whole book slow so we could be impressed by how the AI reads it fast. And so I understand how a lot of kids feel like they don't have stake in the type of future that the work that they're expected to do would link them up with, you know? Like there's this idea that if you do everything right, you'll reap the rewards, but we're already telling you the rewards won't be there by the time you get done. And so I see things like them bringing AI into these UK schools and paying for these programs. You have to ask yourself, is this really coming out of the kindness of someone's heart? Or is this to make money? Is there a company that will make money? And surely there is. Because the programs range in prices. There's one program, though, that is being implemented in school. I think, I could be wrong about the exact number, but I'm pretty sure that the amount that the program is going to cost the school is like £27,000, which I'm not saying is the best salary in the world, but you could pay that to a person, you know? And it just freaks me out because I only know what it's like in the American school system, which is scary enough. And not just because of the shootings. It's also... It's not because the I'm saying the American school system is already difficult enough because you have underpaid and overworked teachers that have to take extra jobs and just fight for their lives and then still spend their own money to get supplies for kids to do the work that they're expected to do, right? Just to like stay even slightly above water. So how can you not expect this kid who's already been given less resources than kids in other districts and kids who, you know, by some accident happen to go to a great school or happen to be in a place with money, how can you not expect them to use ChatGPT to get them to close the gap? And how can you not expect these teachers to be like, I already drive Uber, deliver pizza, and teach geography. I don't know if I can try to find the AI. You know? Because you can get really far without knowing. Actually, that's one thing I think about all the time. I don't know if your schools are good or not, but I also don't know if it matters, at least to Americans, because if you come over to the U.S. with your accent, we'll believe you. people in the US fall for the British accent so hard, it's kind of unfair that we were ever number one. Like even a lot of the conspiracy theories that we believe in the US did kind of come from a British guy who just talks smooth. You know, like he comes over after y'all kicked him out for being too wild, and then he's like, you know, there's lizards in all the people. And we're like, when he says it, it makes sense. You know, y'all have some phenomenal exports. But you do have some rough ones. You know, like why'd y'all do like that? Sending Piers Morgan to us. It almost constitutes an act of war. I don't know who else you could have sent that Boris Johnson wouldn't have been as destructive as Piers Morgan on our TV all the time. What did we ever do to you? I'd like to think that the UK holds like centuries-long grudges. And I'm like, okay, all right, y'all think you cute. You think you cute, you gonna leave me. Just wait. Wait like 200 years. I'm gonna send the most annoying man that's ever lived to be on 3 of your news stations every day. No? Because it's difficult. I mean, you can get really far without knowing much. That's scary. And that's even before AI. Ask Piers Morgan. You can get so far without knowing anything. In fact, there was a teacher in the US. This blew my mind. This teacher, and look, I'd have to look it up again, but I was throwing it out there. British man. It just sort of backs up my point. This dude taught in the US for 8 years and he couldn't read. He couldn't read. Imagine somebody failing you who can't read. Imagine. You turn in your paper and they're like, I don't even know what this says, but it looked wrong. Like, this look like garbage, man. Nah, this dude really figured it out. This is one of those stories that kind of went semi-viral before virality was like well established. So before YouTube and like things could pop off on Twitter, Facebook, or anything, this dude got his maybe his master's or something, and started teaching. And I think he was teaching like middle school, and taught middle school for like 8 years. Could never read, but what he would do was he was very good at picking out personalities. This was his talent. This was his thing that he had used his entire life. He could read people. He couldn't read words, but he knew. He knew people so perfectly, he could laser into them, and he knew so much about you just by looking at you. And one of the things he would do every year, every semester, he would lock in on like 2 or 3 of the smartest kids in class. Just naturally smart, just genuinely gifted. And he would have them, you know, read a paragraph or 2 to the class starting the lesson. And then he would basically, watching over them, kind of get the smart kids to teach all the other kids. And it was astounding. That's wild. I'm sure that's what they think the AI will do. I'm sure that's what this dude would lock in, and he'd just see, okay. He'd be like, today, can you read page 11? Can you read page 12? Can you read page 13? And we'll all just take notes in our books as we go. Right? As the kids would be taking notes, as the other kids were reading and everything. And one of the things that he said in his defense, he's like, show me where the kids that I taught aren't proficient in what I was teaching. You know, my methods work. And it's fitting that he was teaching middle school too, because middle schoolers are some bullies. A middle schooler is the only one with the real audacity to be like, I don't think he can read. That would never happen in higher education. Like, if you're getting your master's and your professor can't read, you would second guess yourself. You'd be like, no, I must be missing something. He must just be like so locked in that he never looks at the book. No, only a middle school would be like, I bet you he can't read, dog. Because a middle school will blackmail you too. A middle school would be like, hey, look, it's A's for me and my boys the rest of the year. Or we telling everybody you can't read. That's A, as in the first letter. That's A as in the first letter that you can't read, because you can't read, okay? If I even see a closed A that look like a B, I'm telling everybody. Imagine that. Imagine getting caught. Imagine principal, vice principal got to pull you into the office. You sitting down, you know, because the kids loved him. He never gave homework. You sitting down, what's going on, y'all? How's everything going? We need to talk to you about something that's a bit troubling. We are hearing, it's honestly hard to even say this out loud. I feel so embarrassed even bringing it up, but there have been some accusations by some students and maybe a few parents as well that you ooh. Because you gotta think about it. If you're wrong, you look so crazy as the principal. If you're wrong, you look like you believe everything you've ever been told in your life. If you're a principal that drags a teacher into a room to be like, can you read? Like, you hired me. Like, can I read? Principal sitting him down. Okay, look, so there have been some concerns and some accusations by some students and some parents that your literacy is not in the room with us. You know, and I don't know if they would have the teacher in there by himself or they'd have the kid that accused him of not being able to read because he didn't get the A he wanted. Maybe he's sitting there. Teacher, this is preposterous. You know, words you say when you don't know how to spell it. This is preposterous. Me not be able to read. What how dare you? How absolutely dare you? Kid sitting there. Make him read something. Make him read something. He gonna do it anyway if he can do it. They try to get him to sign his resignation letters. They're like, can you read it? I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response. Kid sitting there, that means no. No? And that's my fear. That's my big fear is that you let the system start, it only benefits companies, and before you know it, it's an entire generation, an entire country of people who aren't proficient in thinking skills. They can't think critically. They're not truly literate. And never mind not just reading for fun. They do not really grasp how important reading is, because you can either cheat the AI or the AI has the best interests of the company in mind. Because that's another thing that was happening with Duolingo. It's just all these ads started popping up, ads for companies, because they're a company that's trying to make money, you know? And so what if that happens? What if you implement so much AI into all of these schools and it goes left? How fast can you train an entire generation of teachers that were burned out and underpaid and overwhelmed to begin with? You know? That means that you could have an entire generation of UK teachers coming to the US not knowing how to read and teaching our kids not to read could be a disaster. Never underestimate the power and the impact that a teacher can have on your life. I remember a teacher sat me down and told me something I didn't even know about myself. This teacher sat me down and told me, you got a lot of nervous energy. Like I can just, and I was like in middle school where you can't even be polite. You just got to get right to the point. Like they just sat me down. You got a lot of nervous energy. All right. You ever thought of drawing? Just channel it somehow. Right. I was like, oh no, I never thought to draw. I love anime. Yeah, maybe I'll draw. And I drew something and my teacher was like, draw something, bring it to me. I'd like to see what you draw. And so I did. And when I showed my teacher my drawing, they were like, we're going to find something else. for you to do with your energy. All right.
I'm Josh Jonhson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little bitter at the moment.
Why?
I had some shows.
It's our 100th episode, and you're going to be bitter about it?
Not about it. I'm very happy about it. I was at some shows at Foxwoods Casino. It's in Connecticut, and
okay.
At the casino, they have a lot of amenities. They have a lot of things for a non-gambler like me to do, right? So there was an arcade. The arcade was pretty good. It was like there's two arcades, and they only tell you about one of them, and the other one is way better. That I was like, okay. I was almost more upset about that. They tell you about the first arcade, which is like got bubble hockey in it, which was amazing. So
bubble hockey's great.
Even though I lost pretty badly, it was still very fun to play. You know, there's just so much hope when you play bubble hockey. Because even if you have no skill, you're like, wow, I almost hit the goal just then from like twisting my wrist. Anyway, so then they had the Tekken Tag, which was amazing. But they also had go-karts, and they had the serious go-karts for kids that are going to try to be Formula One racers one day. So the go-karts were not only fast, but they were like professionally done.
These were, professional go-karters is what this is.
Okay, so you joke about, God damn it. What is this?
For those of you listening.
Fucking fuck. It makes me so mad, and it's just as we're recording too.
Yeah,
it's
he's
not.
Got a
it
fly
doesn't.
In his face. For if you're just listening to the pod, and when I say just listening, we're hoping that this will be our a full video episode. We've got new cameras, but right now, Josh is chasing a fly.
Whatever,
and is very angry about it.
Okay,
we told you nothing would change. We told you. We may be 100 episodes in. It's not a goddamn thing changing.
So what ends up happening is we get there and Vince and I go racing, right? And it's too serious when we walk in. When we walk in, it's like there's an energy in there that's like dad. You know that like sports dad, like coach dad, like almost stage dad, but for sports.
Yeah, too intense. Too intense. Kind
so
of.
It's too intense when we walk in. So immediately
at go-karts?
At go-karts. But to be fair, these go-karts were dope.
Still though. What are you gonna turn harder? Like what are you gonna say?
You're gonna say turn harder. All right.
Rubbing is racing, Daniel. Like what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And so we get there. Not only do they have suits that you can wear, you can just get one of the suits that's made for like a driver.
You mean like a jumpsuit, not a 3-piece.
No, not a 3-piece, but the jumpsuit is like legit.
Because that would be great if they had formal go-kart.
Formal go-kart racing, yeah.
Please put on your racing tuxedos.
So basically we go in there. And
was that an extra charge to get the uniform?
I don't think
was
so.
That an option?
No, I think they were just letting you have it if you wanted it. If you knew what your fit was, they were just letting you put it on. But the helmets were legit. The helmets, I was like, are we in trouble?
Is my head in that much danger?
I've never worn a helmet like that. The helmet made it so that my actual face was in place. Like it wasn't just a helmet. It was like a helmet that like fitted with foam pushing into your cheeks, and like it just kept everything perfectly placed. So they have a head sock for you to put on too. So you put on a head sock, which at first I thought was a sanitary thing, and apparently that's also what racers do. And
no, racers wear I think that's a lot for, safety, and also I think potentially if like fires. I think if you crash,
I guess if there's a fire, but it was actually too safe that I got nervous, because I was like, why is there a flame retardant suit, a helmet that looks like it could take a bullet, and then just me with a head sock on? Like, is this bad?
Because that'd be like if they were doing that before like an amusement park ride, you'd be like, we shouldn't get on this.
Yeah,
they're giving us too much gear. This means you will die on this.
And so we did 2 heats, and in the first heat, you have to remember, this is me remembering how to drive, because I haven't driven since the last time I drove go-karts, which was 4 years ago.
That's a great point. I kind of forgot your inability to drive.
Yeah, so already that's the other thing that made me nervous. I was like, are these fast enough that I could like hurt myself or someone else? Because the last time I went go-karting, you were punching it, and this little thing was like barely getting any steam.
Right.
And I watched a heat before we ran, and I couldn't believe how fast they were. It was like cars. It was like straight cars.
He means the Pixar movie.
Yeah, the cars are talking. So then
he felt like a car. He felt like a cartoon car.
I get in my car, and also the way that they managed it was a little frantic, because then they were getting annoyed at us, like for not having been there a million times or something. Because I guess they're just used to the kids that come every weekend. Because there was even we were knocked back 45 minutes because they couldn't get a bunch of cars going, and the dads were so mad. It was wild. It was like, I thought there was going to be a fight, because the dads were so mad. And one of the dads was like, my son races for some, like, because you know how F2 is for like the kids, right?
Right, yeah.
So F1, they're still very young. They're still essentially kids. They're like 21, 22, whatever. But F2 is when they could be like, I don't know, 17 or something. Right. And so this one guy is like, my son is like a prospect for, I can't remember what team he said, but it was like legit. Like I was actually kidding. I was actually getting nervous. It's like
now you're like, shit, am I interrupting practice?
Yeah.
Am I ruining someone's career right now by just wanting to have some fun?
100%, because then we start, and before we start, one of the dads is like, oh yeah, my son is a mechanic. I guess he's like a junior mechanic for something. And then he's on the team for something else. And they were complaining because they were like, oh, it never runs like this. It's always more professional. And in my head, I'm like, wait, is this supposed to be professional? Like, are we in the way right now?
What's happening?
Then it's finally our turn to race. And Vince and I go up, and the guy's just like staring at us. And he's like, grab a head sock. Like it felt like I was on a racing team that I didn't know about, because the guy was like, he had no sense of humor, and he was no help at all. Like he was like, do you know what your number is? Do you know what the number? Look at your screen. Do you know what your number is? And then I was like, yeah.
You accidentally got drafted into a team, my dude.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm car 19. And he was like, all right, well, go to your car. Your race is starting soon. Go to your car. And I was like, oh my God. And so I'm just like running over to the car. I get in, and like nothing on the car feels right. I didn't even know that they had like, not like specs, but they had so many adjustments you could do in the car. And so I just get in, and I'm all uncomfortable. And then the guy walking up, I'm like, I've put my seatbelt on, which is like the real strapped in seatbelt, by the way. This isn't just like over the waist. It's like chest, vest, across, like zip, like fully pulling your straps in. And then the guy walks up, and I was like, he hits the start for my car, but then he's about to walk away. I'm like, hey, is my seatbelt all right? And he's like, yeah, you're fine. And I'm like, is there any way that I could change the pedals? Because it's real close. Like, clearly whoever was in here last was child. Like, is there anything that I could do? And then he pulled it back for me, and then it fit a little bit better. And we take off, and I was both very proud and surprised at myself how well I was controlling it from the start, but I couldn't have been more terrified about how fast it was going. Like, it was it was so fast. And then I'm making the corners too, and I'm like, wow, I'm driving. Like, I got excited like I was on the actual highway. I was like, wow, I'm driving. This is amazing.
I'm finally a grown-up.
Yeah. This is amazing.
I'm a real boy.
And then I'm in my head, I start like competing, right? So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to pass them. And I'm like getting around. And then I passed two people, and one of them was clearly not happy about it. Like, I just found...
this is his job, and you're making a harder day at his job for him.
I found some space in the turn, and I took it, and I was very happy. I was like, wow, I passed someone go-karting. I don't even drive. Yeah. And so then maybe like 4 laps later, this guy just perfectly nicks me on the back right wheel and sends me into the wall. And so there's a reverse button.
Rubbing is racing. I told you.
So I hit the reverse, but then you're supposed to only reverse when it's clear so that you can then turn and everything. And so I keep hitting the reverse, but then cars keep coming. So then I just keep slamming myself back into the wall to avoid the people that are about to hit me. And so I'm just, for maybe like 8 minutes, I'm just slamming myself into the wall. Like, not 8 minutes, because I'm sure the race was only like 6 minutes. But like,
if it was 8 minutes.
But I mean, not 8 minutes. I meant 8 times. Sorry, but like for at least 2 laps, 2 what should have been laps for me was me like slamming myself back into the wall over and over, because I was like, they're gonna hit me. Like, I'm getting in the way, you know. And so finally, I reverse, I pull out, and then I race the rest. And luckily, we did 2 heats, because then in my second heat, I was like, man. Okay, outside of that guy like bumping me, I think I have it. Like, I think I know how to drive now, and so
I'm gonna go get my license after this. I've done it.
And so then we get in the second batch of cars, and now I feel like a pro, because now I'm like, all right, rude guy, I know exactly what car to go to. I'm just gonna walk past you. Whatever, and sit down. We take off again. This time, I still, only because of the race I just had, I actually think I had like a bad car with like fully.
Oh, it's the car's fault.
No.
It's the car's fault. Definitely.
I just did a race where I
definitely
knew
not
less.
The man who doesn't know how to drive. He already said that, but it's definitely the car.
I'm telling you, man, I just did a race where I knew less. I knew less about the car. I knew less about the turns. Like, everything I did the first time, I was doing for the first time. So with this one, knowing where the turns are, knowing the rhythm of when I should turn and everything, I was like, yo, this car is bad. And once you start the race, you can't just stand up. But almost immediately after I take off and I go through the first turn, I'm like, I'm in a bad car. Like, this is horrible. I had no grip at all. So then every turn with any speed, I was just drifting. I was straight up. It would have been cool if I had been doing it on purpose. I was turning. When I tell you that I was turning, and like Jason Bourne in the Rain was sliding the entire length of the turn, and then I would just hit the gas again to go straight. So for a little while, I thought I could manage it. And then twice I slammed myself into the wall so hard. And then the second heat we did was with the pro guys. So that's the heat. Like, the first one we did was with a lot of like families and kids, and you know what I mean? Like, people that were just trying to have fun. The second one was with the guys who showed up with their own suit.
Oh, okay.
And so then at one point I'm driving, And I look around and just 3 of them are boxing me in. I'm like, what's happening right now?
It's like, I get it, especially if they're, pro racers or whatever, but like, fucking calm down.
It was wild.
Don't show up with your own suit and then want to show people up at a go-kart track. That's like showing up with a bag of clubs to putt-putt.
I mean, it's like dunking
and
on
having
a kid. It's like dunking on a little kid.
Exactly. It's like having a caddy carry your putter for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're over at the side, it's like, what do you think? There's a windmill in the way. What do you think I should do?
Hey.
Calm down, kids. Calm down. I get you're taking it seriously.
It was horrible.
Don't pick on my friend in his 30s.
No, that second car was bad, man. I'm telling you, because the second car, I was like, I would do the thing that you're supposed to do. I'd hit a little bit of brake and I'd start to turn, and I'm still just sliding like I'm on top of water, and then
just doing
slam into a wall.
Slow and confused 3 Connecticut drifting. That's what you.
Yeah, man.
I've done that before. I've done the kind of more souped up go-karts, and then I've done the mini drag races. It was at a place in Texas. I was in like 7th grade, so I don't remember exactly where it was or what it was, but like they had like mini drag race cars. And that's all it was. You got in it and they gave you the countdown. And even as like small drag race cars that were like on a track, they had some giddy up and go.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a point where on the course you go up a little bit, and that up is some turns, but then there's a straight where you go down, and the straight where you go down makes the car shake so much that I thought the car was coming apart. I thought it was like a Looney Tune. And so anyway, there was one kid there that is like the future. Like there was a little kid there where I was like, hey, my man, I need to get his autograph, maybe.
You're my go-kart hero.
That kid was so fast. He clocked a lap that, just to give you an indication, the second fastest lap was like 12 seconds longer.
Damn.
So he essentially went 1.5 times faster than the second fastest person.
Did he bring his own cart too, or
no? He just
knows which one's the
yeah.
good
He
one?
just knows what he's doing. He's a future world champion.
That's interesting.
I didn't mean to talk about any of this. It was just on my mind when you asked me.
I did not ask you, but okay.
No, when you were like, why are you salty?
You?
Why are you bitter? Why are you upset?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that I was just confused about, because I'm like, we've been preparing the last few weeks for the celebration of the 100th episode, and we did the mailbag and stuff, and you're just like, I don't know, things are bad. I got beat by some kids in go-kart.
Everybody got their own struggle. I don't know why. When I voice mine, it's like an issue.
It wasn't an issue. I was just surprised that you were in such a sour mood, and then the reasoning made it even better.
So,
how are the gigs though? How are the shows?
The shows were great. Crowds were great. It was a very fun time. I'm trying to figure out how to even describe it. So I've been saving 2 things for this episode for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to check in with you. Is there anything that's on your mind that that you want to chat about or anything?
Not in particular. No, I don't think so. I don't think, I'm in this stretch right now of where I haven't really done anything for the last couple weeks. So, so that will change next month. I'm about to be very busy and on the road next month, but I haven't done a lot. I had some friends come out and see me from Chicago, which was good.
Dope.
And I maybe got a little too after it and had to vomit so much into a sink.
Okay. All right.
just maybe that happened, and it's been a long time since I've thrown up. And that may have been the most.
That's
ever
exactly what we needed. That right there, you've
that right
done
there,
it.
You
yeah, this is the perfect tee up. Thank you for doing that.
Whoa, okay, I didn't mean to tee him up, but here we go.
Okay, so it's a couple of things, but one thing is a thing I don't think I've ever told you about, where I went to this after party for a comedy festival. I won't say which one in case it comes back. I'd very much like to be invited back, but I went to this comedy festival's after party.
I'm about to talk some shit about it.
No, it's not. It actually wasn't the fault of the festival. It was the fault of the bar.
Gotcha. Okay.
So basically, the after party for this festival. This is also should point out this is before COVID, and
okay.
So there was an open bar for the after party of the festival, because now this is like the last show, last everything, going out with a big hoorah, everybody open bar, right? And one of the things that the bar that they rented out for this event, I guess threw in, because I heard this later, was like, I think 100 or 80 bottles of red wine. And so it's like a lot of red wine that they're throwing in for free on top of the tab to make the bar open, you know?
Okay.
Which at the time, I think I got it. Fuck yes. Which at the time,
it's just good for a podcast when you're in the middle of a sentence to blow aggressively onto your mic.
we can edit it out.
You make it hard when you do it in between, in the middle of a thought.
You want to reslate? We can reslate.
No, I'm not going to reslate. That would be starting the whole podcast over. Reslating does nothing. We also are doing the cameras now too. So if I cut it to where you go, then it just cuts.
Yeah, but if we reslate, then won't you have a place?
Reslating? No, that's not what reslating does.
Oh, okay. So basically,
the slate is to sync everything. It has nothing to do with the edit.
All right, if you say so. So
I'm the fucking editor.
The thing that ends up happening is that they get all of these red wine bottles, which I'm assuming are the same brand, same everything. I don't know, because I don't drink, and I didn't drink that night. But
you thought they were all red brand wine?
Just red. You know what I mean? You know that red? You know the red wine that just says red on it? That's apparently the staple wine is red. Don't act like you ain't had none of that red.
I've got 80 bottles of Red's red wine.
Yeah, Red's red wine.
What kind of wine? Just red.
Just red.
Yeah, but there's different types. Don't worry about it.
Crazy enough, tastes like a junkyard.
And some of them are clearly white wines too, but they say red.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that might be some white wine with a little blood in it. So they get all of this free red wine on top of the bar tab, right? Mm-hmm. So for the most part, people are just like pushing the red wine. Like the bartenders are, and they're letting everyone know. It's like, hey, let's let people know about the red wine first, because then that might do a little something for us on the back end with the whole open bar thing. And
smart move.
Basically, I get to the after party pretty early. I'm not like a cool guy who's late, and so I get to the after party.
I was there an hour before they opened.
100%. I helped set up just some of the chairs. So I'm there.
I wasn't fashionably late. I fashionably work there now.
Guy just handed me a glass and I just ran with it, you know. So I get there on time-ish for when it starts. So other people don't start showing up for at least like 40 minutes or whatever. And I think there was, to be fair, a show that was happening at the same time that the party started. So it's not as if everyone's fashionably late. It's literally that they came right there from the last show of the festival.
Right.
And sure enough, maybe 2 hours in, so I got there on time, first hour, other people started getting there, then an hour after that, when I tell you everybody, like, not every single person, but just about everybody that I saw with red wine starts throwing up. Like, starts really gets like really sick almost immediately. And once
like
again,
early in the night, like once they're just having drinks?
Early in the night.
So
this is early in the night. And it's clearly not their fault because it's people who aren't that drunk, right? And so people just start running to the bathroom.
Whatever this is,
or
it's
people,
poison.
So the 100 bottles are clearly just like spoiled wine. It's clearly just like wine that's turned, or maybe it was about to turn, and then they were like throwing it in, which...
But I don't know how wine turns like that, because people age wine for decades.
I think if you leave wine open, that's like not aging it anymore. That's like making it go bad. I feel like however you store it...
to do that with 100 bottles, though.
Man, I don't know what to tell you. People just started throwing up red, and I thought it was the end of the world. When I tell you that I thought this was it, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I prayed a little bit. Like, dude, I'm at this party, and all I know is people next to me, people in the bathroom start throwing up full red. Because, mind you, I told you that to like color the context of the thing. I didn't know any of that while I was at the party. I just know people were throwing up red, which to me looks like blood.
So you, you didn't know that.
So I thought, God damn it. So I thought everybody was dying.
Right.
I thought everybody that was throwing up red was like, all right, we're here. This is the zombie movie we've been prepping for. And and then eventually a bunch of people realized that they all got sick, that they only drank the red wine. They were like, stop drinking the red wine. But apparently it's like, maybe it's how they stored it. I don't know. Because I also don't know that much about wine, but I know that a lot of people threw up.
I don't know enough either. It could, it could have had, they can get laced with salmonella or whatever too if they're bottled improperly or whatever. So I don't know. They could have just been drinking poison.
They could have. Like, I don't know. Does salmonella act that fast? Because that means that basically within an hour they must have been knocking them back. Because then within an hour they were throwing up.
Well, yeah, I don't know. This is a mystery. If you know anything about wine and how it can have this effect, email in joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. Let us know.
Yeah, but it was pretty terrible. And
sounds awful.
Yeah, and
I
you
threw
just
up a lot of
reminded me of it with your.
Well, and I was going to say it when I threw up a lot. I threw up a lot of red actually, and I was concerned because it came out and it was looking like I'm like I didn't eat anything with tomatoes in it. It seemed like almost like. Because I was seeing like these chunks of it, and it was all very red, and I'm like, "What is this?" I forgot I'd ate a bunch of watermelon, so it had turned everything in my stomach red, and the chunks I was seeing that I thought were like smashed tomato parts were just watermelon that I was regurgitating.
Okay.
And it took me a sec to put that. I only put it together because a friend of mine said he's like, the kitchen smelled very watermelon-y as you were vomiting. And I was like, that makes sense because I was concerned. But I was mainly just trying to aim.
I feel you. I forgot I had a bunch of watermelon.
I did forget that I ate a bunch of watermelon that day.
Okay.
It was a fun grill out day. Had a bunch of watermelon.
So it also then, not a tight segue, but a slight segue, leads me to one of the stories I've been saving for a long time because it just, to me, is is such chaotic energy. It's like as comics, we have to do that thing that people call like reading a room, you know, whether it's for comedy or for context of, you know, what's happening or something. And it's so funny
Deciding
because
if anyone after a show wants to kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. How quickly you should leave. And it's amazing
All things you got to read.
to me that because it's a skill that we've had to build over years, there's just a different energy to it than in other cases. What's the best way to put this? It's like when something becomes second nature to you almost because you have to do it so often that you forget that the rest of the world isn't building that skill. There was a wedding in Louisiana years ago where these two fine people were they're fine. They're
Never has the word fine had more judgment in it.
they're
These two fine people.
Yeah, they're a lot. Anyway, they
Are these friends of yours or
loosely, yeah. We don't talk that much anymore, but it's
because of what happened in this story or
no, but the story you'll see why. Anyway, so
all right.
They decided to have family cater the wedding because, you know, they didn't just, it wasn't just a money saving thing. It was like we've always wanted to have this dish at our wedding type thing, and only grandma can cook it, whatever, right?
It's also totally a money saving thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so
why buy food if you can force your grandma to cook for you?
And so the thing that essentially did them in a sense is that one of the matriarchs of the family that they wanted to cook something special was in the hospital for a little while, and that little while crossed over during the wedding. So then they couldn't do the whole prep, and, you know what I mean, they were just too sick to do it. Mm-hmm. And so what comes with that is a family member stepping in and being like, just give me the recipe and I'll do it, right? Now, this is essentially one of the things that's being cooked is a pot pie, and it is enough pot pie for like 80 people. So there's like 80 guests at this wedding, and the wedding's...
That's a big pie.
It's a big set of pies. It's a big pie. It's all huge. And...
Be great if they tried to do it in one pie. Just one giant comical buffet pie.
Yeah. And so basically...
To feed everyone, I had to increase the recipe 80 times.
I'd increase the recipe 80 times, and also the pan is grandma's bed frame. So
yeah, I was gonna say we had to cook it in a small pool.
Yeah. So I mean, the pool is ruined. All right.
Wrecked.
So
wrecked.
As you enjoy
Absolutely.
this, just know you'll never swim in this thing again.
Yeah. Also, I lost my watch, so it may be in there.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
And so all you need to know is that the family member that steps in is not the one that you call off the bench. All right, this is someone who could really mess up a PB&J. So like, this is not the type of person.
You know, Aunt Caroline doesn't have taste buds.
You know, Aunt Caroline burned her tongue at 82 and never been the same since. And so what ends up happening is this family member steps in, makes the pot pie, and so what's on the plate for the dinner, for the reception, is the pot pie, and the pot pie is essentially like the main, right?
Right.
So it's like almost like beef stew type pot pie with a lot of roast in it, potatoes, peas, carrots,
Right, yeah.
all the stuff, right? Like a nice thick gravy that binds it, holds it all together, and a crispy.
That was my nickname in high school too, by the way.
What was? What did I just
thick-
say? That
Nice thick gravy. Don't worry about it.
So anyway. They're cooking the whole thing, and then they serve, and pot pies on the plate. And then there's also a side of bread, which I just personally found hilarious, because if you get enough pot pie crust, that's just a lot of bread now. And then it was like some spinach, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like everyone got like a little brownie or something that another cousin made or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they're all eating, and they're doing the speeches, while they're eating, right? So dad gives a speech, mom gives a speech, mom and, in-laws give speeches, like everybody, right? And and then they get the DJ to play that first song. They do the dances you're supposed to do, the dad-daughter dance, the first couple dance, all that stuff like that, right? And then they open up the dance floor to everybody. I don't know. I don't actually know what was wrong. All I know is maybe an hour into dancing, maybe it's the gyrating, maybe it's just the heaviness of the pie, but apparently this thing was cooked wrong, and now nobody feels good. Like everybody is sick. Like everybody is sick off this pie. I can only imagine what it's like. That must be what hell is like, to have to dance after eating some thick gravy pie. So now you're just in your own world trying to like groove to it, but you're like, ugh, 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 ugh. And so everybody, they like, I don't even remember.
Cha-cha, real smooth. Oh no. Oh no.
I don't even remember what it was. I think it was a Cupid Shuffle where people started to throw up. Like
Jesus Christ.
Like and apparently, because I wasn't at the wedding, and also even if I was invited, and so
What does that mean?
I don't know. I wouldn't have gone. But anyway,
Why you hate these people?
it's not hate. It's not hate at all. It really
it's
is
not hate.
It really isn't hate. It's just they're too much. And
What'd they do to you? Have they poisoned you on a previous occasion?
Probably close. That's actually not that far off. Like, yeah, I can see myself having almost been poisoned by some of them if I hung out and ate with them more. And so Cupid Shuffle's going, people moving, and then just a lot of like grabbing people to like hold yourself up and then just letting loose, right? So this is also happening where a couple people, I think, might be. This is an outdoor wedding.
Outdoor wedding?
Yeah,
this is outdoor wedding.
And
because it'd
so,
be way funnier if it wasn't.
Sure.
If they're just in a reception hall.
But it's like Family Guy levels of people starting to get sick, and there's a mad dash and then a subsequent fight for the bathrooms because it's an outdoor wedding. There's not enough bathrooms. There's not like there isn't a facility. So then there's like the sort of it's almost like a rec center bathroom. Have you ever been to one of those where it's like essentially a brick wall of zigzags and then just an open bathroom, male or female? You know what I'm talking about?
almost like a park shelter kind of bathroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and because it's like that, it's not big. It's like 2 stalls and then a urinal trough.
Now, well, that trough's about to get full.
Yeah.
But like also, they're outside, right? And they're vomiting. But people are running to the bathrooms means
something else is happening.
It means something else. They're not just vomiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you need to race, because if you're outside, go throw up in a corner. Just let it go in the grass. Man.
Yeah.
You're already puking on the grass dance floor.
Yeah. Well,
So
no,
now
the
if
dance floor wasn't grass.
Oh, did they have like a cover on that?
They put a cover, yeah.
Okay. But either, that's just slippery now. But
Yeah. Yeah.
now, if you can't if something else is happening, it means there's another bodily function
Yeah.
betraying these people. Just putting that out there.
And so basically, as that's happening, it's like utter chaos breaks out because now there's a fight for the for the bathrooms, especially on like the male side. Like people are like grabbing each other and pulling each other out of the way and stuff like that. Like the family unit has broken down. Like all those speeches y'all were giving a minute ago about being a new family and having a new son and all that is gone, right? Like this is the Capulets and the Montagues, all right? All over toilets, okay?
Yeah.
And so then as this is happening, I don't know what was going through his head. I don't know anything about why this happened, but the biggest fallout of the entire event is that a cousin on the bride's side chooses this moment of utter chaos to get down on one knee and propose to his girlfriend.
Because first off, proposing at a wedding sucks. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
People are out there doing this shit. Don't do that.
I'm not
Don't
even
fucking do
on
that.
the side of like bridezilla, whatever culture thing, but that is a genuine attack. Like,
It is just
you propose at a wedding. Exactly.
There's no other word for it except for fucking rude. It's just rude.
It is so it's
So rude. It ain't about you.
if you propose at a wedding and that person says yes, y'all have to stay together forever. There's no divorce now.
Yeah.
That should be the punishment.
You especially can't like have a canceled engagement.
Yeah.
You gotta be right.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If you're wrong, you're gonna hear about from whoever's wedding it was. That is who you are to them now. So first off, even outside of what's currently happening, don't do that.
Yeah.
Second, why then?
Why then? So
Why then? What made you think now?
I think that's also my problem.
The way she's screaming in agony
Yeah. The utter
lets me know I really love her.
chaos of that moment. And then you're like, this is it. This is what we play for.
I will say it is an immediately memorable engagement.
Yeah.
For them too. No one else will because they are dying internally. So
There's a lot of internal bleeding right now. So
frankly, that may be actually, I'm going to amend what I said. That may be the only good time to propose at a wedding because no one knows you're doing it. Because they're turning inside out. So no one gives a shit that you're proposing right now. Because no one even cares a wedding's happening right now because they're dying.
yeah. No, it's brutal.
And then you got to go around and try to tell people like, hey, we got engaged too. And your uncle pulls his head out of the urinal trough. Good job.
Because also, yeah, that's the other thing is that you have to factor in who's now sick from pot pie drunk.
Yeah. Pot pie drunk.
And I think that's also one of the craziest things about this wedding.
Keith is a real pot pie drunk. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Like the thing that's also so hard to handle about this entire scenario is that it was like a summer wedding in Louisiana, which means it's hot and muggy, and you had pot pie. a stomach full of pot pie as you dance and get drunk on probably moonshine? I have no idea.
Nothing I love more on a hot summer day than a fresh out the oven pot pie. I like to sit on the porch and just scald the inside of my mouth.
Imagine
on some homemade hot pot pie.
Imagine burning your tongue in 90-degree weather in a suit.
Oh God!
Like there's nothing conducive with a good time.
In a suit. Yeah, no.
That was brutal.
Just still enjoying pot pie drunk too. Just pot. Yeah, man, we're about to go out tonight and get pot pie drunk.
Just imagine you're at a wedding and this is happening to you, by the way. So you're at the wedding and you don't know what's about to happen, but you know it's a little hot.
Yeah.
And you're in a shirt and tie, maybe a suit because you want to look nice because it's a wedding. And then you're sitting outside, sun beating down because it's a day wedding.
Yep.
Because if you have it at night, the mosquitoes are coming. And so so it's like this afternoon wedding.
They're coming for that gravy laden blood.
Those mosquitoes gonna have high cholesterol when they get done with you.
You can mosquito lands on you, you can hear it breathing heavy.
Yeah. Imagine just a mosquito with diabetes now, like sitting there like, I got the sugars, something awful. You're gonna have to cut off one of my wings.
Oh man, I have overdone it. Hey, a proposal.
And so imagine you go to that wedding, you're sitting there, it's hot, and then you finally get your food, which a lot of like it's getting better now that more people are taking control of their wedding and how they want to do it. But traditionally, when people do things the old way, the food only came when you were starving. Like like weddings when I was a little kid, you go to somebody's wedding. I'm talking about when I was like itty bitty. I would go to someone's wedding and be like, hey, why haven't we eaten yet? They got married like 2 hours ago. I don't know what that has to do with my life anymore. And so then now a lot of weddings that I've been to, especially recently, have like a nice like rhythm to them, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, generally, I'd agree with that.
And so then imagine you go to that wedding, you're already hot. You get served a piping hot pot pie. And then there's just Rebel Yell in the back, which is a liquor, but like there's just Rebel Yell to drink to wash down the pie.
I thought you meant the Billy Idol song is just playing. In the
No. There's a drink.
No, I knew what you meant. Just dancing with a plate of pot pie in the midnight hour.
And so then you start dancing, which is just shaking up your hot stomach. And then in the midst of the chaos of you trying to pull yourself together, you see a knucklehead near one of the tables proposing to his very sick girlfriend.
Do you know, did he try to get other people's attention?
I don't think so.
Everyone?
No.
Okay.
He like straight up just did it. But then anyone who wasn't sick, which also that's a good way to tell who doesn't like your cooking, because if anybody wasn't sick, they don't roll with what you make.
But now they're about to be sick because they're seeing a proposal at a wedding.
Yeah. And then it got back to the bride who ended up getting very sick. And then it got back to the bride. She was like, you tried to ruin my wedding, and now they don't speak anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, why would you?
Because it'd be great if actually she was about to throw up and she's like, someone needs to distract you. Propose. Go. I don't. Do something. Everyone.
Oh man. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
then
pretty great.
the other one, that I've been saving for quite a while.
Oh, damn. Okay.
You still kind of tipped it when you talked about your slight bender with your friends.
My slight bender.
Yeah, because I don't actually know what the full definition of a bender is, so
Well,
I said
mean, yeah,
slight because
the
you
thing
got
is-
sick.
No, it was just like, I think it was like I just ate a little too much and drank a little too much. It wasn't that wild. It's because I'm older and I don't like party now. So it doesn't take as much, but I haven't like just had a weekend with my friends in a while. So
Out here, I got you. Living the dream, killing them, laying it down.
in the sink. Yeah.
Juicy.
Getting real juicy on the weekend. Getting that pot pie drunk. Yeah.
Just a stomach full of gravy. And then you out here trying to dance to Usher's Yeah.
Burp, 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 burp. Burp, 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 burp. Blah!
And so the second one is is one that was told to me in college. Basically, you know how that's actually a big thing in the South where a lot of people get married very young. Like we're talking 21, 22. Like it's a small
Same
town
up
thing
here, man.
sometimes, and sometimes it's
I mean,
a
hell,
culture thing.
I got married at 22. So
Yeah. It's like it's just a thing where
Totally get it.
you're with your people and you get to know someone so well from proximity that for a lot of people it does make sense, especially if you're not going to move. Like imagine if you're not going to move from your
Right,
small
yeah.
town. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out how best to frame this for you. Because I'm trying to think of like which perspective is the best to tell you from.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to do it from the third perspective, which is the friend that told me, instead of either person. So
Okay.
they were hanging out.
Third person omniscient.
Yeah,
narration is what we're going for
essentially
here.
third person omniscient, because I know what's going to happen. They didn't know what was going to happen. But if I pick a person to tell you, it might leave too many blanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So they are friends with two people. Let's just call them Sarah and Tommy. All right.
Sarah and Tommy are the friends.
Sarah and Tommy are the friends, right?
They are the lead characters of this story.
They are, indeed. Sarah and Tommy will, go out with their friends a lot and everything. And because they're in a smaller part of Louisiana, one of the main things to do is go to Walmart, right? And so...
Hey, as someone from small town Iowa, yeah, we did a lot of that.
Yeah. Especially when you're young. Like when you're,
Yep.
once you are old enough, you go to bars and stuff like that. But
Yeah, but when you're young, you go in and you look at the DVD selection, and then you just kind of go sit on the furniture.
yeah. Or you talk about why certain things are in the $5 bin,
Yeah.
What happened to his career? Where's he at right now?
Man,
We thought he was
Christian
big in the
Slater.
90s.
Christian Slater ain't getting shit now.
Oh,
3 of his movies on one disc.
Yeah, they would do that, and that either meant you were an icon or you were like hardcore done.
It was one or the other.
Yeah.
Either like these are 3 classic films by somebody, or someone please buy these John Travolta movies.
Yeah, it would be like 3 Christopher Walken on a disc movies, and
Yeah.
only one of them was one that was like a classic. The other 2 were just things he did early in his career.
And some that he's in for like a scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, so they would go to Walmart, they would hang out. So they finally, get to be 21, and they go to bars, and it's like,
so now they can buy drinks in Walmart.
Yeah, right.
really crack one and have it in the vacuum aisle.
And so once they're 21, they really start to go for it. And Sarah and Tommy both like drink pretty heavily because that's also one of the things you do when there's nothing to do. And Tommy goes way further than Sarah, though. Like, he'll get much drunker, but then she, even in her state of drunkenness, is still able to take care of him. And so it's never so much a problem because he's not like an angry drunk or what. He just gets like very bad on his feet, right? Like, he's a faller, okay? He's a tipping risk, all right? And one day, while they're all out drinking and everything, Tommy's pretty far gone, and he slumps next to the table. And as he's slumping next to the table, everyone thinks he's falling out of sliding, falling out of his seat slowly. And he's not. He's like, someone even tries to pick him up, and he's like, no, I'm good. And he's slumped, like, kind of still half in the chair, kind of leaning off the table, kind of on the ground a little bit. And he shifts over to where, like, one of his knees is actually on the ground and his butt is fully out of the seat. And he looks up at Sarah and he's like, will you marry me? And then Sarah, who's like not that drunk, gets furious. gets so, but not why you think, gets so angry and goes, Tommy, you did this already.
That night, or
a different time when they were alone. Tommy was a little bit drunk, what she thought was a little bit drunk, maybe it was very drunk, got down on one knee, proposed to her. She said yes, and they were so excited and like, you know, they were like chill and everything like that. And then the next day, she couldn't find the ring, right?
Oh, so he even had a ring with him.
No, he had a ring with him. He had a ring with him.
Oh, okay.
She couldn't find the ring, and she was too scared to tell because he literally just proposed like the night before, or whatever. So then she doesn't tell her friends, and she doesn't tell anybody because she can't find the ring. So she's freaking out, and then a couple days later, they go out with their friends. Basically, Tommy forgot he proposed, stole the ring back because she left the ring she took off the ring that night and then like went to bed. So he sees it the next morning, grabs it thinking he must have left it out or something, has no recollection of proposing at all.
So she didn't lose it.
She didn't lose it at all. He took it back without remembering he proposed. And so then when he proposes again, she's furious because he's put her through this like maybe 2 days of freaking out, thinking that she had lost the ring. And he's proposing to her again because he forgot the first time. And he's doing it drunker.
Listen, I get that. I think kind of, though, everyone's even in this one. I don't know. I feel like. Because she was terrified that she lost the ring, was the only one who seemed to have known they were engaged. He forgot. I don't know. I think that might be just a good blank slate. Just because now you're bringing it down. Now it's like now we got to do a third one.
Yeah, now we got to do a third one completely sober.
So now we're fighting. So drink up so we can forget this one. And then we'll do this again in a couple nights.
100%.
Come on. Renewing vows? How about renewing your engagement every other day? That's how you keep the love alive.
Yeah, because I don't know how long this, like, I just from the story, I was like, was it the next day or whatever? And they were like, oh, it seems short. But who knows how long she thought she lost it and just tried to not mention it and tried to, whatever.
But also, look how much he wants to marry her, huh?
Mm-hmm. That he forgot he proposed.
Okay, that doesn't help the point. But I mean, he really wants to do it, so he did it a couple times, and it's and you can tell it's just what's coming out because he's drunk. You know what I mean? You know, as long as he's not like saying a wrong name or anything. You know, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It kind of feels like they were meant to be together.
Kinda.
Not saying they're perfect, but it seems like they're living on the same page.
Oh man.
This is what I'm getting.
Hey, so we're actually going to wrap up this episode because Logan's camera died, and
Yeah.
I don't know how to help him at all. I barely know how to work mine. I think that maybe I've lit myself right, but I may have been coming in very dark this whole video. If I haven't, it's because of some great post editing. But thank you so much for.
Don't put that on me.
No, I'm just saying. If
No, I'm kidding.
thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and we are excited to bring you these every week and to check out clips and other little parts that we're going to be putting out of episodes. And thank you for rolling with us. Happy 100, everybody, and we will be back with more.
Yeah. Thanks for listening for 100 episodes. I'm still here. You keep looking at the camera, and I'll just talk for a while. Yeah.